Hello, this is Michael Halper with Sales Scripter, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to create a sales script for IT consulting. If you sell IT consulting, you will likely find what we talk about to be very helpful. If you do not and you sell something else, you can still follow the process that we go through in this video to create your own sales script. And what I show you here today, I actually came up with while working with a Sales Scripter customer to create their sales script, and they sell IT consulting. And I'm able to share this with you here today because I provided my consulting working with them at no cost in exchange for them donating what we came up with to this YouTube video and to our preloaded library of sales scripts. This is our preloaded library as of today. These are all the sales scripts that I've created with other Sales Scripter customers in our public library, able to be downloaded by other Sales Scripter customers. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this here today is because you might be interested in some of these other sales scripts, but also because we are very motivated to make this library even more extensive. So if you sell a commonly sold product or service like IT consulting or recruiting or insurance related products and you need a sales script, contact us because we might be interested in working with you and waiving our consulting fee in exchange for you donating what we come up with to our YouTube channel and to our public library in our software. And so our process for creating a sales script for IT consulting starts with brainstorming key details about the product being sold. And of course, the product we're talking about here is IT consulting and a few features of that product. And I know this is more of a service, so it's a little weird to talk about features when we're talking about a service. But I try to view everything being sold as a box, even if it's a service. And when the customer gets the box, what's in the box? So what is included? And so when you're thinking of a service like IT consulting, the features might be the scope of work, the different things that you will do or the different things that you can do when you're working with a client. So the features here are we could do an IT needs assessment, network consulting, network health assessment, IT security consulting, fractional CIO or fractional CTO, strategy consulting, project management. And what I recommend you do when you're thinking about the product that you sell is take an extra step and try to think about how you're different from the competition. And so when it comes to differentiation, that will be probably unique for you and your company. So you can't really use what I have here, but just to give you an idea of how maybe a consulting firm could position themselves as being different is that we work with only oil and gas businesses, so we have deep industry expertise. And the next step in the process is to think about who are we going to be communicating with when we use this sales script. I think this is a really important step to take because it can help you to tailor your messaging to the audience that you're communicating with and improve the odds of grabbing their attention and communicating more clearly with that audience. So for this sales script, we're creating a sales script for IT departments. So this is a script that we can do outreach targeting the internal IT departments for large corporations. Now, certainly, if we created a script for small businesses, that would be a totally different sales script than one for IT departments. And that's an example of how this step can modify and impact the sales script that you end up creating and what you end up communicating with the prospects that you reach out to. The next step in the process is to think about the value that we have to offer when we provide our product to that target audience. And this can be a challenging step, and all we're really trying to accomplish here is to try to think of between 3 to 6 to 10 different improvements that we can deliver to this target audience. And to help with this, what we can actually do is bring back the features that we just came up with and also the differentiation. And here's another tool to use is that I think there are just a few common ways that most products and services help the audience that we're trying to sell to. And so just about everything being sold can make something work better, make something easier, decrease the amount of time it takes to do something, increase the revenue or income for the audience that we're selling to, decrease their costs or expenses, improve the customer's product. So the customer that we're selling to, we might be able to improve the quality quality of their product or service that they sell, decrease the risk of something bad happening, improve visibility or access to information. So what we can do is, having that list, we can then go back to the different features that we provide and look at each one by one and say, when my customer uses that feature or I provide that to my customer, does that help to make something work better or help to make something easier or decrease time in any way? And we can go through each one, or also go through the differentiation one by one and come up with a list of improvements and use that to come up with some ideas of how we can help. So when we provide our IT consulting, we can help our clients to complete and improve IT-related projects and tasks. We can improve decisions around IT strategy and infrastructure management. We can augment their existing IT knowledge with top-tier expertise. We can align their IT strategy with business goals and revenue targets. We can decrease the size and the amount of backlog of IT projects. We can maximize the return on investment for dollars spent on IT. We can improve the delivery of their IT and business services. And the next step in the process is to think about pain points that we can make go away with our product or service. And our goal here is to simply think about 3 to 6 challenges or concerns that we can address with our product or service. And we want to try to keep in mind that target audience. Instead of just thinking of general challenges or concerns, we want to think about pain points and concerns for the target audience that we're communicating with. That will help us to communicate in a way where we increase the odds of grabbing their attention and building interest. And to help with this, what we can do is we can bring back the value points and improvements that we created on the last step. Because if we did a good job of brainstorming and thinking of ways that we can help IT departments, what we can do is we can use each of those points to come up with pain points. Because here's a trick. For each improvement that we can deliver, there is an opposite pain point that is usually resolved. So we can look at each improvement one at a time and ask ourselves, what problem goes away when we create that improvement? Or what problem starts to happen when this improvement is not provided? So by going through these one at a time, we can come up with this list of corresponding or actually inversely correlated pain points. So it can be common for IT departments to need help with IT-related projects and tasks. And it can be difficult making decisions regarding IT strategy and infrastructure. And many IT departments do not have the needed IT knowledge and skills in their internal organization. And there could be more alignment between IT and the business strategies. Backlog of IT projects and not enough resources to complete the work. Need to show a positive return on dollars that are spent on IT. Quality of IT services will directly impact the delivery of business services. And the next step in the process is to think about questions to ask. I personally believe the best salesperson is the one that asks the best questions, and you could agree with that 100%, but still not know what questions to ask. Here's a process that you can use to come up with the perfect list of questions to ask for what you sell and always have good questions to ask. And it starts with creating what I would call pain questions. These are questions that probe to see if the prospect has the pain points that your product or service can make go away. And to come up with these, we can bring back those pain points that we just created, because if we did a good job of brainstorming pain points that we can make go away, well, we can use that list of pain points to come up with a perfect list of pain questions. And what we can do is we can ask ourselves for each pain point, what question could we ask to see if the prospect has that challenge or that concern? And for each pain point, we can come up with a corresponding question. So if we use this list and we go through each item one by one, how do you feel about having the people and skills you need to complete the projects and tasks? How helpful would it be to get more help and outside advice with making IT-related decisions? How do you feel about needing outside IT expertise, skills, or people? How well do you think IT and the business are aligned in terms of strategy? What type of impact does the backlog of IT projects have on your business? How important is it to improve the ROI for dollars spent on IT projects? How concerned are you about how IT is impacting the delivery of business services? Now, there's another category of questions that I think you should create, and those are what I would refer to as current state questions. These are current state questions are questions that you would ask to try to learn about what the prospect is doing in the area where you have something to sell. So if you sold cars, current state questions would be, do you have a car today? Do you own it? Do you lease it? What year is it? How many miles does it have on it? How's it running? So I can't tell you the perfect list of current state questions for what you sell, but what I can provide is a list of areas that you might want to ask about. So certainly you want to ask the prospect if they currently use or have purchased what you sell. So you might want to ask about who they've purchased from or who they're working with, any details around current systems or processes, people in the organization, current contracts, any size details, current performance, maybe the last time they looked at purchasing what you sell. So here are some current state questions for IT consulting. Are you currently working with a consulting firm? How long have you been working with them? How's everything going? What are some things you like about what they provide? What are some things that you think could be better? Do you currently outsource any IT services, or is it all in-house? When was the last time you considered hiring an IT consulting firm? And then there are probably a number of different sizing questions that you'd ask in the IT consulting area, such as how many data centers do you have? How many servers do you have? So there's a number of questions, and I'll leave that as sort of a placeholder. And another placeholder is that you should probably ask performance-related questions. And there's probably a number of these depending on what you're talking about with your client. But what is the performance of your infrastructure, your servers, your applications, your uptime, your downtime? So I'll leave a placeholder for that as well. And the last step of the process is to think of a customer example that you can share in your sales script. And I think this is really powerful. Not only is it a great way to establish credibility, but it can often be a way for you to explain how you can help and build interest. And if you're creating a customer example, it can be ideal to create a customer example that is similar to the target audience that you're creating the script for. So if we're creating a script for IT departments, let's create an example of an IT department that we worked with and that we sold our IT consulting to. So here's a little tool that you can use to create your customer example, and it starts with trying to think about a customer that you helped in the past. And like I said, try to think of someone similar to the target buyer for your sales script. Maybe think of a problem that they had before you started to work with them, and then what did you sell them to try to solve that problem, and then think of 2 improvements that you helped to create by providing your product or service. And so following that guide there, we can come up with this customer example that we worked with an IT department for an oil and gas company. They had the challenge of decreasing their IT project backlog. We were able to help with that by providing our project management and staff augmentation services. This not only helped them to decrease their backlog, but it helped them to improve the quality of service delivery for their IT department. So just an example there of creating a short customer example. And of course, your customer example would be unique to you. But by having that short example, you can use that throughout your sales script. And each of those steps that I just went through there creates what we would refer to as building blocks. And once you have those building blocks, it's real easy to create a lot of different sales tools. For example, you can mix and match those blocks together to create a cold call script, or a first appointment script, or an email campaign, or voicemail scripts. And as you can see, there's a lot of different documents that I can create. And I'm not going to take time in this video to show you what all of those different documents look like, for one reason, because I've already done that in another video. If you want to see a lot of the different combinations of how to put those building blocks together, go to this other video on this playlist called The Smart Sales System, Sell Smarter, Not Harder. Video number 4 is writing sales scripts. In that video, we basically just show you how to put all those different building blocks together, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below. And also, that sales script that I just went through, certainly you could take those individual points and create your building blocks and create your scripts, but I do want to show you that all of that is already loaded up in Sales Scripter. This is our preloaded sales script message library. And for example, here is that IT consulting services script already loaded up. So if you were a Sales Scripter customer, you could just grab all those points and all those building blocks, and the software would create all of those different documents that are in that other video that I'm going to point you to with that other link. And if you were to grab that preloaded message in Sales Scripter, you would be loaded up with all those answers and bullet points that I just showed you. And like I said, the software then has a sales playbook with a ton of different sales scripts and email templates, and the software creates all the different combinations for you, saving you a bunch of time and effort. That is pretty much it. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and if you want more information, the best place to go is salesscripter.com. If you want more tips, there are plenty of videos on our website with sales tips. There are also ebooks you can download for free. If you have questions on the product of SalesScripter, there are plenty of demo videos on our website. If you want to contact us, this is the best place to go. You can get our phone number, email address, and there's a chat window as well. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.